Okay, so getting back into our coverage over From the Ashes, A New Beginning, we do pick up with Exceptional X-Men issue number one. Now, for me personally, I'm kind of left to wonder where this book could possibly go. And the reason why I'm saying that because this book is going to heavily focus on Kitty Pryde, another X book focusing on her. Now, there will be other characters around her, but it does seem like she'll be the main character of this series. As a matter of fact, in its first issue, we only see her for the most part until the very end of the book, where we're going to see other characters be around her in later chapters of this series. But either way, let's not forget for Kitty Pryde, she has gone through a lot when it came to the Krakoa era. It was Marvel saying, hey, let's keep Kitty Pryde as Kitty Pryde, but at the same time, let's try our best to take her in a new direction. And they did, and she did have to cross some lines as well. And so for Kitty Pryde in this brand new era of X-Men comics, it's kind of like, you know what? I have crossed so many lines. I have done so many things over the years as an X-Men. It's time for me to just relax. And honestly, as we get into the opening pages for this issue, we see Kitty Pryde trying to have a normal life. You see, for Kitty Pryde, she's one of those mutants who have the ability to hide in the public. You see, for the mutant race, you have folks like Jean Grey, Wolverine, Kitty Pryde, even Rogue and Gambit, who look normal enough where they are able to hide in the public, where people won't know if they are a mutant or not. But you have some characters like Nightcrawler, Beast, Mystique. Those characters, they can't really hide in the public as well because of how they look. Now, for Mystique, she can change her appearance, but for Nightcrawler and Beast, it's really hard for them. But the point is that for Kitty Pryde, she's really trying her best to move on from the idea of being an X-Men, to move on from the idea of being a marauder. It's just her right now being this bartender at a bar, trying to have a normal life. And even when she hears other people, regular people, talk bad about mutants, she can't say anything because, again, she wants to have a normal life, but at the same time, hide the fact that she is a mutant from people around her. And also, we do learn that there's something going on with her mother because you do have Kitty Pryde boss say, hey, go call your mom. But Kitty Pryde does not do that. And for Kitty Pryde, we do learn here that she's currently living with a character known as Pretty. Now, Pretty is an old high school friend of Kitty Pryde. But also we see here that for Pretty, she's trying her best to get Kitty Pryde out there to do more things with her life. Because for Kitty, all she does is go to work and go right back home, and that's really it. And you have Kitty tell her friend like, no, I don't want to, honestly. All I want to do right now is stay home and relax. Now, Kitty was somewhat embarrassed because she does have a date with somebody. We're not told who, but apparently she's going to a concert to a band she's liked back in high school. But again, she was very embarrassed to share information with her roommate. So you do have Kitty head over to where the concert is supposed to take place at, but then she realized that she has the wrong day for the concert. The concert is tomorrow, which unfortunately she works tomorrow, which means she might have to cancel her date. But either way, for Kitty, she's kind of like, you know what? I'm already here and I see there's another concert going on. Let me see what the young folks are currently listening to. Now, for me personally, I would not do that at all. I'm sorry. Like, I'm 30 years old. Why would I go to a concert that's now made for younger teenagers, like 13, 14, 15-year-olds, and be like, you know what? I'm already here. Let me go ahead and see what they are listening to. But Kitty Pryde does that. But this leads into our first appearance to a character known as Trista Marshall. Now, Trista Marshall is going to be called Bronze in later chapters when it comes to the X-Men. Now, for Trista, we do learn that she has the ability to turn her body into bronze-like metal. Now, here's the catch though. You see, for Trista, her and her friends were trying to go to the concert, but the guard says, hey, listen, y'all can go, but she can go. And of course, he's talking to Trista. Now, he does not tell her why she cannot go in. And we're kind of left to believe it could be any type of reasons. Her race, her outfit, could be she's a mutant. We're not truly told here at all. And so you do have Trista kind of get upset, especially when he touches her, and she does activate her powers. And that leads into a small scuffle between him, the security guard, and Trista. And so for Kitty Pryde, she was going to do her best to ignore everything going on and just walk away until you had a security guard pull a gun out on Trista. And so, of course, you do have Kitty Pryde get involved to protect the young woman. Now, this leads into pages where it's Kitty Pryde just using her abilities to phase through different parts of the building, other buildings, and also cars as a way to get Trista out of danger. And so, real quickly, I want to talk about the whole idea of what I saw online about this issue alone. There were a lot of people who were not really excited about this book. Now, at first, before it came out, there was low excitement for it. But you did have some folks go out of their way to buy the book. And I did see some people say, like, hey, listen, this ain't it. And their main issue was that this is the first issue of a brand new series of the X-Men. And your goal is to bring in your fans into this series to be hyped for other things down the road. And the problem is, after reading this entire issue, I can say you're not really pulling in people to be intrigued for what's to come down the road. Because now here we are, we're seeing Kitty Pryde and also Trista being able to have a conversation with one another. And Kitty Pryde being that role model for Trista. Now, for me personally, this right here is okay. Like this part right here, because it's kind of cool seeing Kitty Pryde be that role model. My problem is that this should be done down the road in later issues so that this issue alone will be used as a way to bring fans into the book, to get them excited. And right now, at issue number one, you're not really doing that. It's been more of Kitty Pryde in her feels. That sucks. And next thing you know, oh, hey, listen, I'll be a role model. There was nothing done so far to say, you know what? I cannot wait for issue number two. Now, as you guys know out there, I have this whole idea of try to give a book a chance. So I might do the next 2 or 3 issues to see where this could possibly go. But for right now, for the first issue, it's not that great. But either way, you do have Kitty Pryde drop off Trista at her house and she goes home. Now, the Kitty Pryde storyline does kind of end on the note where you have Kitty Pryde just go ahead and cancel her date for tomorrow night. But it's also Kitty Pryde kind of wondering, like, what to do with her life. You know, the whole idea of there's still mutants out there, young mutants, who are going through the same struggle as Trista did earlier, being judged by other people. And she feels so bad for them. But either way, her story does end with her getting up, going to work, and her friend leaving her a small gift behind for her to open. Now we move on to another character who's going to be very important for this series. But now we have to jump over to Emma Frost. Now, when we do, it's really more of Emma Frost trying to find the right person for whatever job she has in mind. She says no to Colossus, no to Wolverine, no to Nightcrawler, but she's all like, you know what? Let me go ahead and go after Kitty Pryde. Now, for me, this is an automatic callback to the early days of the Marauders, where you had Emma Frost kind of use Kitty Pryde to be a leader of that team right there. And so it does seem like, once again, it's going to be Emma Frost going straight over to Kitty Pryde with a new type of mission. And the last chapter is really more of Bobby Drake just getting a plane ride over to Chicago. So sooner or later, he might meet up with Kitty Pryde. But yeah, the book kind of ends on that note. And for me personally, I'm kind of left to wonder, will this series actually last beyond 6 issues, possibly 8 or 10? Because for me, it's not that great, but I still kind of have hope for it because it's just the first issue. Like I said, I always try to give a series a few issues in before I say, you know what, let me go ahead and drop the book. But either way, this is where we're going to end today's comic book series. So guys, I'll see you on the next comic book video. Later.